Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make Kenny. We are going to need an extended loom with the 5 columns across. It's going to be in an offset position, so you have 2 up, 2 down, 1 up. The arrow is going to be facing towards you, and the colours that you're going to need are black for his feet, orange for his body and his hood, and brown for his gloves. You're going to need a couple of flesh tone bands and 2 pony beads. We're going to double band, which means if you're new to looming that you take 2 bands at any given time and place them over the pins, the pegs, together instead of using just a single band. So unless otherwise stated, we are going to be double banding. So let's get started. Move to a brown band, another brown band, remember to push your bands down the pegs because otherwise they get a bit crowded. As you can see, this middle neck band is very crowded, so make sure you push it down. Now arms and legs we are going to actually attach now. You're going to take 2 black bands and put them on your hook, and you're going to twist them around your hook twice. Once, twice. You're going to take 3 black bands and slide those bands onto those 3 bands, like so. And we're just going to attach that here at the end. Going to do the same on the other side. 2 black bands, wrap it around twice and slide it onto 3 black bands. Like so. And pop it on the end here. For his arms, you're going to have 1 brown band, wrap it around twice and get 2 brown bands to slide that onto. These are going to be his gloves. And onto that you're going to now build up his arms, which will be 2 orange bands, slide them on, 2 more orange bands, slide them on, 2 more, and the last 2. And you're going to attach those here at the shoulder. We'll do the same for the other side. 1 brown band, wrap it round twice, 2 brown bands, slide them on. Then you're going to get your orange bands. You're going to have 4 pairs of these. So the first pair, the second pair, the third pair, and lastly the 4th pair. And these will go on the other shoulder, like so. Now we're going to do our eyes, so you will need, I'm going to use an orange band, and I'm going to slide my pony beads onto my hook. Now I have 2 hooks, one is a 3.75, one is a 2.75. I use my 3.75 for doing most of my looming and the hooking because it goes down the channel nicely. I find the larger ones they don't fit down as nice. I use the 2.75 for fiddly things. If I really need to get, you know, into an area that's small and a niche area. It's also fantastic for hooking beads onto a band. So I put my beads on, I put my band on the end, I slide them over, and I'm going to stretch that across here, like so. I'm then going to use orange bands to go across, and it's a single band. It's going to go across to act as our crossover bands. I'm not going to do any here, but I am going to start here. So where I have columns 2 and 4, I just stretch it across once, like so, just between those 2 pegs. And then for the 3 pegs, where it's column 1, 3 and 5, we're going to stretch a single band across that whole area, all the way down to the bottom. This basically stops your figure from falling apart in as much as otherwise you'd just have all these columns hooked in, but nothing would be tied in as far as the width. What we might do, oops, there we go. I'm going to put 2 end bands on the end. So I take a single band, stretch it out a bit, and I'm going to wrap it around my fingers twice and pop it on the end. Stretch it out once, twice, and pop it on the end. Now this band, this last band, going to lift up so that it's over the other side of that end peg. We're now ready to start looming. Let's start with his feet, go under his feet and get those 2 orange bands and hook up. The same on the other side. And with these ones you're going to go under the end cap, find those 2 bands and hold the end cap so it doesn't pop off. That can get quite annoying. And you're going to loom up your figure. Remembering that you need to look for that teardrop shape. The teardrop shape is a visual reminder that you have actually hooked something in. If you're not seeing that teardrop shape, or it looks a bit odd, you might have caught the wrong band, you might have forgotten to loop it in, and that would be bad because then when you take your figure off the loom it all falls to pieces. Some of you might be a little young to remember who Kenny is. He was from a show called Southpark, and he never talked, and the poor little thing always ended up dead. Every episode he ended up dead. He always miraculously came back to life for the next episode, but he was always ended up being killed. It was a very inappropriate cartoon, mostly for adults and not children. Hence my 5-year-old saying, "Who's that, Mummy?" Okay, we're going to loop the arms into the shoulders. Into the neck. And loop the chest into the neck. See how many bands we have on there. That's really quite difficult to work with. We're going to go for the bands that were placed last. So in this case it's these ones for me. So push down and find them and hook them up. Be careful that you don't break your bands. Find the others on the other side. What I tend to do when things get a bit tight, you can see that there's pressure there, I put my hook in and I try and move it around the outside of that peg just to loosen things up a bit, and it usually tends to work. Now we're going to do the shape of the head. Again, you're going to be looping the bands that you put on last. So the top bands get looped first. This one gets looped up here. Now we're going to loop the inner circle. Push them down. The outer circle again. Loop these ones in, and this one will be our last one. Dig down, find that last one and hook it over. I'm going to get 2 clear bands and I'm going to push my hook down the center and out through the side and hook those 2 clear bands on. As I pull it up, I tend to twist my hook so that the back side of the hook is flush against the bands and doesn't snag any of them. And then I'm going to take the 2 bands that are closest to me, pull them over my hook and lock that in. Now you can attach at the end, you can attach this to the back of the figure using a C-clip or an S-clip. I actually tend to leave it free because I end up hooking it to a keychain clip. And so that's why when you see what I usually make, you see these 2 little clear bands at the top. So now I'm going to swap to a crochet hook that has no cushioning on it and it's metal, and I'm going to ease my figure off my loom. I use the metal crochet hook because it doesn't put the pressure on the hook because they're very easily broken. But it also helps you not break the bands of your figure when you're taking it off the loom. At least for the fiddly bits like the shoulders and the neck and the ones that have the most bands on. When you get to the normal area where it's just, you know, 2 bands twisted on top of each other, then you can just gently pull your figure off the loom. There we go, pull him off. And here we have Kenny. We're going to draw his eyes on. Now, Kenny normally sort of has this, confused look about him and cross-eyed. So I'm going to do the 2 little black pupils of his eyes in the middle of his head, kind of cross-eyed looking. And he has a drawstring, a little black drawstring, which is keeping his hood together. So I'm going to go under the flesh coloured bands and pull a black band there, and I'm going to tie that in a knot as a little finishing touch. Oops, get back here you. before I tie it too tight, I want to make sure that it is at the bottom of those bands. There we go. And there is Kenny. I would love to see yours, how yours turns out, so feel free to post it on my Facebook webpage. That would be awesome. And good luck with your looming. Have a great